This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
No.
Y'all,
This
just
is
stop.
a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. Happy Friday, everybody.
Yes. Oh.
Cabbage Patch? You busted out?
But
Not
that's
a full one?
that's like a shaky Cabbage Patch. Like there's a little bit of electricity running through that. All right, I like it.
Tori's doing some things.
Yes.
There you go.
That's weirdly relaxing. I can't lie.
Is it kind of ocean-like music
is.
when you go to
I'm
sleep?
stirring the
We
bowl.
need some
I'm doing-
Enya playing.
I'm doing sound bowls.
Are you saying you would like Tori just to do that in your room while you fell asleep at
Well,
night?
she can do that in her room.
Good
I'll be-
night.
All right. Let's get to it, guys. Will and Jada made their first appearance together since revealing they had been separated for 7 years. They showed up to the Bad Boys Ride or Die premiere in LA with their 2 kids, Will's son from his first marriage, and along with Jada's mom right there. There she is. Will and Jada posed for pictures together, and last year, Jada said she and Will were working on rebuilding their relationship. Will also surprised fans by performing his song Miami on top of a bus. Let's watch. Yikes.
I'm gonna defend Will there. Look, there's no sound.
That was cringy.
That's like the kind of bus where like tourists are on and they're like, look, there's where they do David Letterman. Like that's not a great place for audio, but this is my take on that. You know, he performed Miami, and Miami's been out for 20, 25 years now. It does seem like Will still has a passion for performing. There are a ton of incredible young producers that could take his sound and take his look and allow him to reinvent himself for a second generation. We have seen rap. Will is not like an old man. There are rappers that are still just as relevant. Will needs to drop a banger. If Will drops a banger, this Jada stuff goes away. All this stuff from his old life goes away. The new Bad Boys movie comes out. His new album comes out. It's got a different sound, maybe even a slightly edgier feel. Like, look, you know, maybe talking a little bit about the Jada thing, but maybe being like, that was the first 45 years of my life. Let's talk about the new Will. Life is long.
I think that Will has managed to do something that a lot of other people don't do, and that's knowing when to shut up. Like, he did his thing with his book. Obviously, everything was going on with Jada. Obviously, the Oscar thing happened. And you really didn't hear Will outside of projects. Like, I feel like a lot of people try to protest too much, and I don't think that he is protesting too much. It's like sometimes things happen, you're at fault, and you got to take your L. But people want to continue to remind us of what they did and why it was okay or why they're sorry. It's like at that point, the bad news is being perpetuated solely by you. Like everybody else, people's memories are actually very short. The truth is, nobody really cares about you. So when people are having these conversations about like, is Will set for a comeback? I think that maybe just because it wasn't a constant like, this is what happened, this is what happened. It's like he kind of faded for a bit and then it was projects.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you do. It's like you're only as good as your last piece of work.
And I think a musical project is the way to go because I think still visually,
Bad Boys.
No. Bad Boys is a movie, and when you see him, you think still about the slap. You think about Jada, all the things that have happened. Music, auditorily, it communicates with people in a different way, and I think a banger album where people just listen to it on their way to. I liked his son's album, Icon or whatever that was called. I like that. I listened to that album. My son likes it.
He opened for Justin Bieber on the tour.
So like that company, that family can still make good music. So let's do it.
Yeah. All right, Tori. In other celeb news, Brad Pitt's kids with Angelina Jolie seem to be dropping Pitt from their last name. Brad hasn't been seen publicly with his 6 kids, I should say, since 2016's plane incident that led to their divorce. We still don't know exactly what happened on that plane. Their 15-year-old daughter recently made headlines after she was listed as Vivian Jolie in The Outsider's playbill, where she was a production assistant.
That's Shiloh. That's not Vivian.
Okay.
Just so everyone knows.
That's Vivian.
Oh, that's not Shiloh? No. Oh, okay.
Stick to the script.
So sorry.
Then on Monday, her big sister Shiloh filed to legally drop Pitt from her last name, which was also on her 18th birthday. Their other kids, Zahara and Maddox, have also reportedly dropped Pitt from their names, but they haven't done it legally yet.
Okay. The reason I said that is because those two happen to look so similar, and they look just like Brad Pitt.
And they're also, I haven't seen them since they were
very little.
Very little,
exactly.
yes.
So those two, I guess Shiloh and Vivian look a lot like Brad Pitt, and those two, I guess Shiloh the most. That's Vivian, you're saying, dropped it the most. I don't know, Jolie and Pitt both have very strong last names. So keeping Jolie doesn't mean you're losing your Nepo baby, because you still got the Jolie part.
What about your father?
Well, here's the deal. Yeah, here's the deal. I happen to think Angelina Jolie, only speculation, it took those kids, raised those kids, and told them bad things about Brad Pitt. I think whatever happened with Pax, was it on the airplane? That
Maddox.
something, Maddox or Pax? Maddox on the airplane.
You're crushing it.
I know, forget it. I think something happened in which they no longer had conversation, and the narrative was brought up by Angelina, and Brad wasn't allowed to have a statement. Now, whether that was good for the kids or not, that's fine. And some people divorce like that, where the mother gets the narrative and the father doesn't, and he is out of the picture. We just haven't seen them publicly, and that's the way it's going to be.
Well, I've lived this, as a parent, a divorced parent, where my kids live with their mother. The narrative of who I am is completely up to her. And it's a big deal, because if you tell your kids that your dad isn't worth much, well, DNA says that means 50% of you is rotten. And so you need to be very careful when you decide to excise a parent, not only in name, but clearly in spirit, which is more important to me. No one knows what Brad did. I'm sure it ain't great, and I'm sure he's not proud of it. But this is a level, Cobb. Removing the name is almost like a living death to me.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's the ultimate form of, disrespect that you can show, because you're saying that 50% of me is no longer, and not all of them. Vivian and Shiloh are biologically Brad's kids. Maddox, Pax, and I believe Zahara, Angelina adopted on her own. But either way, they were all family, and he was the father figure in their lives. To make a move like that, especially at 18, I question a lot of things. Yes, the custodial parent can determine the narrative, but y'all are all in California. Why hasn't it been on top of mind as if it was a project for this man to fight for his children? I don't know that he hasn't, but to me, that's what it seems like. If your 18-year-old children are deciding to remove your last name from their own.
Or are you not legally, or are you not allowed to see those children? Because I know Jolie has made it somewhat difficult.
But here's the thing, it doesn't matter how difficult it is. It really doesn't. 18 years is a long time, but it's not a lifetime. So if you're determined to be in your children's lives, even if you have messed up, and a lot of parents have made egregious errors.
You have rights getting out of jail.
Egregious errors. But if you as a parent aren't prioritizing being a part of your child's life and rectifying it with that child, then I think you're going to see this a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of divorces are nasty. Do you think like a lot of mothers or fathers with the custody are like, oh yeah, come on and see the kids? Sometimes you got to fight.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to get 2 lawyers to get in there, but a determined parent would be like, I don't care if I need.
Well, they did fight for like 8, 9, 10 years about the
18 years. I don't care, Tori. I'm so sorry. I do not care. If you are a parent and you want to be in your child's life, you make that priority number 1.
Yeah.
Period. End of discussion.
And we don't know that he has it. We just don't know. But it doesn't seem like, from our point of view, that he has.
And I get what you're saying, Tor, but leaning towards Erica just because I know my ex-wife. I don't care if you got all of the people in the U.S. Army and line them up between my ex-wife and my kids. The Army would have no chance. She is going to see those children. There is an instinctual thing in a parent to get to your child if they're in the same state. Close to you. I don't care where they are. You're gonna find those boys, Jeff.
Yeah.
And ain't no lawyer about to tell you any other way. So I don't know what's going on with Brad. All I know is they're removing his last name, and like there would have to be some provisions to hold me back to keep me from my kids. So I don't know why we're not seeing that from Brad. If you gotta pull a John Q and do something illegal, do whatever you gotta do. I would see my kids.
Yeah, it's tough to speculate because we don't really know what.
We don't. I'm just speaking for myself. Yes.
Abuse, we don't know, right? But to cut your father out of your life, given that you are now in the upper 1% of life, and that never goes away, and that came from both Angelina and Brad.
Absolutely.
You know, and to get like a "I hate Dad" tattoo at 18,
might not.
Maybe the mom should say, "Hey, let's think this out." But again, I don't know what happened that she's this upset to step in and change.
This seems like it's dragged out for 15 years.
Forever.
I know. It's not great when the kids are involved and we're mixing them all up. I thought that would land better. Coming up on DBL, our interview with Huey Lewis. How he didn't let hearing loss stop him from making a musical. And did Alfonso Ribeiro shade Tyler Perry? Erica, how'd you get through this? We're going to talk about it in Erica's segment, what Erica's watching. I wonder what side she's on.
Those are our
Welcome back. Cardi B ate her trolls for breakfast. A Fresh Prince star is showing his shady side, and two birthday queens are refusing to crack. In this week's What Erica's Watching. First, Cardi B responded to being body shamed after trolls called her fat after she performed in Vegas wearing a skin-tight animal print catsuit. Well, her clapback went viral and included a tall stack of flapjacks and some whip shots.
What am I gonna do? Huh?
And Cardi's message was clear. She's good with her body and unbothered. She ain't letting all that hate get between her and the hotcakes on her plate. All I have to say is, she ate that. Next, we all know Alfonso Ribeiro for skipping life into one of TV's most beloved characters, Carlton Banks, from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Well, Alfonso is proving to be shadier than the happy-go-lucky muse he played in the 90s. He says playing Carlton put an end to his acting career, and someone online suggested working with Tyler Perry to revamp his acting career. And let's just say Alfonso dropped a mic after his candid response. He said he doesn't need or ever want Tyler Perry to do anything for him.
Oh, it's like that. He just gonna look, he jumping be his
What brings you back?
So get this, Alfonso actually directed 12 episodes of Tyler's Meet the Browns. So Alfonso, what's tea, boo? And finally, Patti LaBelle and Gladys Knight both turned 80, and these two queens are actually just 4 days apart. The two were recently spotted together at a surprise party for Patti. 80 has never looked or sounded so good. So happy birthday, queens. Share with me anything that catches your eye by using the hashtag DBLEricaWatch. We'll be right back.
Close up, like back up. Welcome back. That's Hip to Be Square from Huey Lewis in the News. And earlier we got a chance to chat with Huey himself all about how his music is hitting Broadway and how it helped him work with his hearing loss. Take a look.
Ooh, I've been a fan of his since I was a kid. Please welcome to DBL, the heart of rock and roll, Huey Lewis.
Yes. Hi, everybody.
Yes.
So cool. It is an honor to speak with you, my friend. Now, your voice is the soundtrack of the 80s, no doubt. And you've toured all over the world. What is a fan experience that you'll never forget from back then?
Well, what's a fan experience? I'll never forget Europe, actually. I remember we played, a lot of memorable gigs, but we played the stadium in Paris, and Bob Geldof and Bruce Springsteen came to the show, and we all played barefoot as an encore.
Dang.
That's one of them.
Dang.
That's a good memory. That's amazing.
All right, let's talk about this. The world was heartbroken, Mr. Lewis, when you announced you lost a lot of your hearing a few years ago and you wouldn't be able to perform because of it. And I wanted to know, how did working on this Broadway show help you navigate through that?
Well, it was a salvation, really. It keeps my mind off my crappy hearing, to be honest.
Yeah.
I have to be more careful because it takes more time, but it's really helped me be creative and stay. The Zen Buddhists say you need three things in life: something to love, something to hope for, and something to do. I got plenty to love and now I got the show to hope for, and of course, the show to do.
Beautiful.
It's a beautiful statement. Now, your music is a staple in the Back to the Future trilogy, and I hear Michael J. Fox has been actually helping you through your hearing loss. How has he helped, and have you both been friends since the movie?
That's the power of love. Oh, he's just been supportive. You know, just we don't. I don't see him all that much. But we did a very nice interview for the show here, 2 weeks ago or so, and he was very complimentary, and you know, he's a great guy. People don't realize how funny Michael J. Fox is. He is very funny.
He is. He's so talented. Speaking of a lot of talent, we recently saw you in The Greatest Night in Pop. Such a good documentary. And you've said that We Are the World was the career event of your life because you got to hang out with some of the best artists of all time during the breaks. Who did you get along with the best, and who made you the most nervous?
But if you just believe, there's no way we can fall. Well, everyone really. You know, everybody was wonderful. But I found out that Bruce Springsteen is very funny. He's a really good joke teller. And Willie Nelson was playing golf. Willie and I were talking about golf, and Bob Dylan came over and said, "Wow, you guys talking about golf? That's outrageous."
Unbelievable.
So I watched the documentary too, and I have to ask why Dan Aykroyd was there. I know he's in the Blues Brothers. I'm a Chicago guy, but he felt a little out of place.
He felt it.
Actually, that was what Dan Aykroyd's line. He told everybody, "What am I doing here?"
All right, we're going back a little bit for this one, but your music was used in American Psycho during that murder scene. What was it like seeing your music used in that horror film, and how did that come about?
I read the book, and clearly Mr. Ellis was a fan and understood not only me, but he was an 80s fan, you know, Tina Turner and Phil Collins, and he was, you know, he clearly knew what he was talking about. So when the film happened, they came to us and said, could they use Hip to Be Square? And it was a gruesome scene, but you know, it's an art piece. Of course you can. William Dafoe was in it, and so on. So they used it, and then like 2 weeks before the film was going to come out, they came to us and said, could they do a soundtrack? And so I said, do we have to do it? My manager said, no, it's not part of the deal. I said, fine, politely decline, which we did. Well, then on the eve of the release of the film, they issued a press release that went everywhere that said that Huey Lewis had seen the film. And it was so good that he pulled his tune from the sound. Which was, you know, just Hollywood pizzazz.
Wow.
And so I boycotted the film. So I've never actually seen American Psycho, although I saw the musical on Broadway and it was fantastic.
Yeah, it's great.
There you go.
And we also lampooned the scene on Funny or Die.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you have a sense of humor about it.
So good. Gosh, we could talk to you forever. Thank you so much, Huey. What an inspiration you are. DBL Nation.
Well, let's do it then. Let's talk for another hour.
Yeah,
Why not?
come on our show. We love you. DBL Nation, the heart of rock and roll, is playing on Broadway now. Thank you again. We'll be right back. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Welcome back to DBL. Who's ready for a fun summer vacation?
I am.
Participation. All right, there we go. All right, if you're searching for the perfect place to stay, look no further. Hotels.com released the Perfect Somewheres list, a different kind of hotel award based on how well they are treated by their guests. So a new survey found some people spend more than 10 hours researching which hotel to book. So Hotels.com is making it easier by listing the best of the best just for you. The complete list is available on Hotels.com. If you follow them on Instagram, you'll get a sneak peek inside the Perfect Somewheres.
Yes.
Erica's my perfect somewheres around Denver and beyond.
Okay, thank you. I do a lot of research. I do, and it's never what they're just putting out. I want to hear how other people feel about it. I want to see some pictures that aren't like glossed over. Yes, very important.
All right, well, have a great weekend in Liliana. Thanks for the bracelet.